Okay? And by the way, the 5 personality types, no one of us belong to only one of them. We are mixed between these 5 personality types. You have to define your percentage from dominant, from analytical, from expressive. So you have to do the SWOT analysis first for yourself, then for others. At the beginning, you will spend more time to master the skills. Later on, you will find yourself do it just like this. Okay? And I will show you some other results that you can use.
Okay, we are starting the next presentation. The title of the next presentation will be Effective Personality Analysis and Stakeholder Management. The speaker is Mr. Wael Khalil, Project Management Professional, as well as Project Management Office Certified and Risk Management Professional. Mr. Wael has total experience of 15 years industrial experience. He has his bachelor's degree from Cairo University, and he has been an active member of the Pmi AGC chapter, including Kuwait chapter. He was taken on as director, and he is also Pmi AGC Agile Certified Chapter of Engagement Representative. He has also skills in business modeling, PME and PMO framework negotiation, as well as NME. So we welcome Mr. Wael, and I hope you all have another exciting presentation.
Our presentation, the effective personality analysis. Actually, this subject, I don't want to stay here anyway. So, actively, this subject is very important, not only for business, not only for project management, but also for relationship. We need it all over the time, and I cannot understand that any effective project manager can manage a project effectively without mastering the skills of personality analysis. Okay, let's see together what exactly we need to know about this one and how far it's important for us. If you can see or take a look about the different surveys we have on the internet about the top fail factors, you will find at the top of the fail factors, it will come ineffective communication skills or lack of efficiency to manage communication with different stakeholders. In other words, okay, we understand these important skills, but where we can fit it in our framework, in project management standard framework? The answer is, in the 5th edition, in the Pmi 5th edition, you will find totally new knowledge area talking about the project stakeholders management as a new knowledge area. And if you remember this model, the traditional model for communication between the sender, receiver, and the message, and the required feedback. Anybody familiar if you want to use this model for planning for any key meeting with a stakeholder? From which part we need to begin with? From which part? Whether from the sender, the receiver, the messenger, or feedback? We need to begin from which part? Go backward. For example, I have a meeting with a CEO or any key person in my project management framework. So I have to ask myself in advance, what exactly the required feedback I want to get at the end? Whether a signature, a report, a recommendation, another meeting, whatever you are looking for, you have to put it aside in advance. And then you go backward. Backward means you have to define what or whom exactly is going to be the receiver in this situation. What exactly are the environmental factors affecting his decision? What I need to know more about him or her before the meeting. You remember at the 7 habits for highly effective people of Dr. Stephen Covey, he mentioned before at the 5th habit, seek first to understand, then to be understood. So the question is understanding about their needs and hidden needs. In this case, you have to build this matrix, but in a better way. You are familiar with this matrix, I think. The stakeholders analysis matrix that we need to build it at the initial stage in our project management life cycle. You know, we have 2 dimensions, the level of influence and level of interest. We have different theories. We have here something we call it MBTI. We have 16 models. We have also the EBA for people in business. We have the functional, which is something we get from the Chinese traditional, and also we have the physiognomy analysis. We have different sources and different theories. Which one I should use?
The answer, it's not easy to use any one of them effectively in the project management framework, and I tried before. Why? Can you imagine if you are trying to carry with yourself 16 models and you are trying to match, okay, I'm having this stakeholder, whether he's going to be learning the one to do it, it's not. So the question, what we need to use, you have to ask yourself mainly 3 questions. Each question representing for us one dimension in the personality analysis. So the first dimension talking about the positive level of thinking for any stakeholder. And by the way, for each dimension, you can analyze people around the world. You have to differentiate between whether you are dealing with a positive thinking stakeholder or a negative one. But let's take just a simple example to differentiate between different, all this kind of levels. So the question, so you have to differentiate whether you are dealing currently with a positive or negative stakeholder. And the degree will be that will help you to define where exactly is more closer to be positive or negative. Because at the end, the approach that you are going to use, the message, the tools, the effective techniques that you can use in communication will be totally different if you use it with positive mentality or negative mentality. The second dimension, we call it here the professional maturity. About your project. So again, you have to differentiate between different scenarios in your stakeholders and management field. So the last and the most important dimension, we call it here the personality types. I have a model, I call it DACE model, based on the first character for each personality type. So the first type, we call him or her dominant or tribal. We will talk about each type in the next slide, don't worry about it. The second one we call it analytical. Third, we call it thinker. Fourth, we have expressive or influencer. The last one, social or amiable. Okay, this is the common types of personalities we have in business field. There is no good or bad type, by the way. But you have to find out how we can analyze their needs, what the high priorities, and what exactly the most critical issues we need to know about them in advance. I'm going to use what we call the SWOT analysis approach. You know the SWOT analysis, I think you are familiar with it. The strengths, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities. This kind of analytical methods will help us to compare. So we have to do the SWOT analysis first for yourself, then for other stakeholders. At the beginning, you will spend more time to master the skills. Later on, you will find yourself do it just like this. So let's begin with the first type, the dominant personality type. Okay, what this stakeholder needs, what exactly he's looking for. You will find first, let's see or understand what exactly or whom we are talking with. This stakeholder wants everything to be achieved on time and on his own way. So do it on my own way and do it on time. This is exactly what he's looking for. That's exactly his high priorities. Again, we call him sometimes Mr. Time Management and Achievements, because that's exactly what he's care more about. And in order to make sure that he will achieve those objectives, he needs more authority. So we need to consider this key stakeholder that don't try to challenge his authority. Don't you ever give him or her an advice in public. He will put you on the dark of the blacklist immediately. So again, let's talk about the strengths area for him or her. He's a good achiever through a teamwork. You know how to make things achieve as good objectives in our project through a teamwork. And also, he cares about time management. He cares about achievements in the history of the company or history of the team, and also each time or over the time to give orders to his people and make sure that they will finish on the required level of achievement that he's looking for. So again, this representing for us his strengths here. How about his weaknesses? This key stakeholder, he cares more about business, about achievements.
accept from anybody that you can give him in order to do something. And the big challenge for you, how you can convince him about a new project or a new idea. And I'm recommending that it's perfectly you can use what we call hypnosis. You are familiar with high degree of dominant personality type. Where exactly you can hire him? Where exactly he will fit in the organizational structure? Definitely in the managerial level, in the high level. Those people, as you see, they want to achieve more, but through other people. Okay? And by the way, the 5 personality types, no one of us belongs to only one of them. We are mixed between these 5 personality types. You have to define your percentage from dominant, from analytical, from expressive, from able, in order to make sure about what exactly the areas of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for you in that warm field. So you have to do that's first for yourself, then for other stakeholders. At the beginning, you will spend more time to master the skills. Later on, you will find yourself do it just like this. Okay? And I will show you some other resources that you can use in order to get or to master the skills. So that next personality type, we call it the analytical personality type. At the first type, we find the dominant personality type, focusing on achievements, time management. Here, we will find this personality type focusing on what? Focusing on details. Focusing on what exactly the level of accuracy and completeness of facts and what exactly we can get from this kind of information that's available for us. It's hard for you to convince an analytical of anything if you cannot do your homework in advance. Collect all the facts, all the evidence, from where we get this idea, whether it's a successful one in other countries or other regions, and how far it will make more for us as money. You have to share the figures. Otherwise, you cannot get their support. If you are planning for having a meeting with this kind of personality type, analytical personality type, you have to do your homework in advance and make sure at the end that any question from their side, you have a good answer about it. Okay? And by the way, the 5 personality types, no one of us belongs to only one of them. We are mixed between these 5 personality types. You have to define your percentage from dominant, from analytical, from expressive. So you have to do this first for yourself, then for other stakeholders. At the beginning, you will spend more time to master the skills. Later on, you will find yourself do it just like